In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 NBA games happening on December 4th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Boston Celtics versus Washington Wizards. The Boston Celtics travel to face the Washington Wizards at Capital One Arena on Thursday night. Boston enters the game with a thin rotation because Jason Tatum will not play and Jaylen Brown is listed as doubtful. Washington also carries a long injury list, with Bilal Coulibaly, Alex Sarr, Corey Kispert, and Trey Johnson all ruled out. Boston has played steady basketball during the past couple of weeks and gained more momentum after a hard win over the in-form Knicks on Tuesday. Brown carried the offense with 42 points in that matchup, a lift Boston will not have in this game. Washington gives bettors a reason to pause. The group struggles to win and struggles to cover. The team sits at 6-14 against the spread this season, and only the Clippers sit lower in cover rate. Boston has taken 9 straight meetings from Washington and holds a 5-3-1 mark against the spread in those games. Washington has not beaten Boston since March 2023. The track record shows how costly it has been to back Washington. Their most recent meeting took place on November 5th. Boston controlled that contest and won 136-107. The margin might shrink here if Brown sits, but the matchup still leans toward a steady Boston effort. As our first pick for this matchup, the Boston Celtics to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Boston averages 115.3 points on 46.66% shooting while holding opponents to 111.2 points on 44.8% shooting. The team shoots 35.5% from deep and 77.7% at the line. Opponents shoot 36.9% from 3, and Boston secures 44.1 rebounds per game. Washington averages 112.8 points on 46.2% shooting and gives up 127.3 points on 48.2% shooting. The team shoots 36.8% from deep and 74% at the line. Opponents shoot 38.3% from 3, and Washington collects 43.5 rebounds per game. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Golden State Warriors versus Philadelphia 76ers. The Golden State Warriors visit the Philadelphia 76ers at the Wells Fargo Center on Thursday night. Golden State will sit Stephen Curry again, and the team lists Jimmy Butler 3, Al Horford, Jonathan Kuminga, Trace Jackson Davis, and Quentin Post as questionable. Philadelphia rules out Joel Embiid and lists Quentin Grimes and Paul George as questionable. Golden State travels with a thin roster and a recent slide that includes 5 losses in its past 7 games. Curry has missed the last 2 contests with a quadriceps injury and is expected to remain out for at least another week. That absence shapes how this matchup looks. The Warriors beat the Pelicans this past Saturday without him, but they fell to Oklahoma City by a score of 124-112 on Tuesday, which reflects the difficulty of competing without their leading scorer. They may face more strain because Butler III deals with knee soreness. Philadelphia carries its own concerns. This game opens a back-to-back set, and Paul George has clearance to play in one of the 2 contests, but not both. His status for Thursday remains unclear. Embiid's knee issue continues, but the 76ers have adjusted to stretches without him. Their backcourt of Tyrese Maxey and rookie Vijay Edgecombe remains intact, and that pairing gives them a strong scoring engine against a Warriors group missing its focal point. Golden State often struggles when Curry sits. Their recent form fits that trend, even though the team held up reasonably well in the loss to the Thunder when Butler III missed the second half. Philadelphia arrives with Maxey driving the offense and with steadier rhythm. The Warriors sit in a tough stretch, and their injury list makes recovery difficult. They are 4-8 straight up on the road. Philadelphia has players missing too, but it plays at home and has enjoyed better health in its main rotation. The 76ers also sit at 12-7-1 against the spread this season. The current situation makes it hard to find reasons to back Golden State. As our first pick for this matchup, the Philadelphia 76ers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both teams have played with pace and steady scoring. Golden State averages 114.5 points per game and allows 114.1. Their interior defense often opens the door to higher scoring games. Philadelphia averages 118.3 and allows 118.0. Maxi's production and George's shooting help keep the offense steady even when Embiid is not available. Both groups shoot near 36% from three-point range and sit in the top 10 in free throw accuracy, which supports efficient scoring. Injuries push the Warriors to rely on secondary options, and the 76ers tend to speed up play behind Maxey. Those elements create a setting where the total can climb. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Utah Jazz versus Brooklyn Nets. The Utah Jazz visit the Brooklyn Nets on Thursday at Barclays Center. Utah will miss George Niang, Kevin Love, and Walker Kessler, and they list Jusuf Nurkic as questionable. Brooklyn will be without Cam Thomas, Haywood Highsmith, and Terrence Mann. Both teams enter this matchup with uneven form. Utah has struggled away from home with a 1-7 road mark, and Brooklyn has faced its own problems in its building with a 1-9 home record. Each side comes off a confidence boost, since Utah just handled a strong Houston group and Brooklyn snapped its cold spell with 2 straight wins. Utah holds the stronger roster on paper and has the rest edge because Brooklyn played the night before, yet that talent gap has not translated into steady results. Favored spots have been rare for Utah since 2024, and the team has not shown the consistency that would support laying points. Brooklyn's recent success as a sizable underdog sets a clear backdrop, and the overall matchup raises questions about Utah's ability to pull away. As our first pick for this matchup, the Brooklyn Nets to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Utah scores at a high volume, yet its three-point accuracy sits near the bottom of the league at 33.5%. The Jazz often extend possessions through free throws and rebounds rather than quick perimeter scoring. Brooklyn leans on a slower offensive pace that limits its output. The Nets average 109 points per game, and their shooting numbers remain low across field goals and threes. Their rebounding ranks near the bottom, which creates fewer second-chance looks. Both defenses give up points, but Utah's measured use of Lauri Markkanen and Keyonte George, paired with Brooklyn's limited scoring punch, points toward a controlled flow. The mix of Utah's inefficiency from deep and Brooklyn's lack of firepower reduces the chance of a high total. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Los Angeles Lakers versus Toronto Raptors. The Los Angeles Lakers travel to Scotiabank Arena for a Thursday matchup with the Toronto Raptors. Los Angeles enters this game short on bodies. Marcus Smart and Luka Doncic are out, which removes key scoring and control from their rotation. Toronto has its own issues, with Jakob Poeltl, R.J. Barrett, and A.J. Lawson unavailable, which limits their size and depth. Los Angeles played well before falling to Phoenix in its previous game, and the loss of Doncic changes how they run their offense. The group still carries enough scoring to function, and Austin Rivers can take on a larger share of possessions. Toronto has shown steady growth through recent games and has used that stretch to build confidence at home. LeBron James has dominated past meetings with Toronto, and the Raptors have not beaten Los Angeles since December 2022. Toronto has played sharp basketball during the last few weeks and has produced an 8-2 straight-up record at home. The absence of Luka is a major setback for Los Angeles, and LeBron continues to work back into rhythm after a long layoff. Los Angeles has won 7 of its last 8 games, and Toronto has won 6 of its last 8 games. Los Angeles has produced efficient offense, scoring more than 120 points per game while shooting above 52% during its last 3 contests. The team has also hit above 80% of its free throws during that stretch. Toronto has converted less than 70% of its free throws in the same window. Los Angeles rebounds well and collects more than 9 offensive boards per game, which adds extra possessions. They also protect the ball and limit turnovers. Toronto has struggled on defense and has allowed more than 117 points per game across its last 3 outings. That trend gives Los Angeles room to operate in half-court and transition. Toronto still enters this meeting with strong strong motivation and a chance to show its current level of play on its home floor. As our first pick for this matchup, the Toronto Raptors to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Los Angeles has played over the posted total in 4 straight games. The Lakers average 119.1 points per game. They operate at the 25th fastest pace with 102.7 possessions per game, and they face a Toronto group that has allowed 117.3 points per game in its last 3 outings. Toronto averages 117.7 points per game. The Raptors play at the 17th fastest pace with 103.8 possessions per game, and they meet a Los Angeles team that has given up 121.7 points per game in its last 3 contests. Both teams have shown consistent scoring, and their past meetings also support this trend, with 6 of the last 7 games going over the total. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Minnesota Timberwolves versus New Orleans Pelicans. The Minnesota Timberwolves and the New Orleans Pelicans meet Thursday at the Smoothie King Center, where recent form and matchup history shape a familiar script. The Pelicans struggle across the roster, and their list of injuries makes each game an uphill task. Their issues on both ends show up early and linger late. The Timberwolves come in stronger, yet they often treat large leads with casual habits that let opponents hang around. Earlier this week, they held a double-digit line, but they still needed overtime. They have not covered their last 3 games as double-digit favorites, and that pattern raises questions about how they handle this role. Minnesota has played some of its sharpest basketball in recent weeks. On Tuesday, they erased an early 15-point deficit and still closed out New Orleans. Winning twice in the same building against the same team demands focus, and this matchup tests that. The broader context supports Minnesota's control of the matchup, but the spread still sits higher than comfort allows. The Timberwolves have shown strength but also shown how they can drift when favored by a wide margin, and that trend shapes the read on this game. As our first pick for this matchup, the New Orleans Pelicans to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Pelicans' defense has slipped all season, and that gives Minnesota wide scoring lanes. Minnesota sits at the 11th spot in three-point rate at .429 and at the 4th spot in three-point percentage at 38.7. Only 6 teams hit more three-pointers per 100 possessions, and Minnesota plays at a clean 100 possessions per 48 minutes. They also attack the free throw line with steady pressure, and New Orleans has trouble containing drives and interior touches. The last 8 meetings between these teams have gone over 7 times to 1. A sign of how their styles push pace and scoring. Minnesota can tighten its defense, but the scoring profile still leans toward a high total. As our first pick over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.